Hi and welcome back to another Mr. Talk Maths video, and on the channel today we're going to be looking at solving this problem. So we've got x to the power of x to the power of 4 is equal to 64. And so what we need to, what we want to think about here is powers and how we can manipulate them to help us solve this problem. Now the first thing I can do is I can basically multiply both sides of this equation, put both sides to the power of 4. And the reason that is because if I can find something like this, so if I can have a to the power of a, well, if that's equal to the b to the power of b, then that gives us that a is equal to b, and then that will give us an equation we can solve. So if I can manipulate these powers to manufacture a situation like that, that would be very useful. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put both sides of this to the power of 4. Okay, so I'm going to have x to the power of x to the power of 4 to the power of 4 is equal to 64 to the power of 4. I'm going to start sorting the left-hand side out here. So what this allows me to do is when I've got power inside and outside my brackets, that means I multiply them using the laws of indices. So I get x to the power of 4x to the power of 4 is equal to 64 to the power of 4. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to reintroduce the brackets, but instead of putting the 4 outside, I'm going to put this x to the 4 outside. So I've got x to the 4 brackets and then x to the 4 outside. And now I've got this situation which I alluded to earlier on, where I've got something to the power of itself. So I've got x to the 4 to the power of x to the 4. But of course, at the moment, I don't have the right-hand side in this similar format, b to the power of b. So I need to find and rearrange 64 to the power of 4 to something which is basically the number to a power of itself, okay? So I'm going to have to do some manipulation with this. And what I want to do is write this down in, 64 in terms of a power of a number. So 64 is going to be, well, you could do 8 squared. And actually, I'm going to start off with that. Let's go with 8 squared because that would be the most straightforward one to do. 8 squared to the power of 4. Okay, now what that's going to give me is x to the power of 4 to the power of x to the power of 4. That's equal to multiply my powers, 8 to the power of 8. And so we do have a situation now, we've got b to the power of b. What I am going to do next, though, however, is I'm going to simplify this in terms of powers on the right-hand side. So left-hand side is still going to stay the same. And then the 8s, I can write those as 2 cubed to the power of 2 cubed. Okay? And now what I want to do is I'm going to use what I said or mentioned at the start, in that I can, I know that x to the power of 4 must be equal to 2 cubed. Okay? Now from there, it's pretty much straightforward. What you're going to do is we're going to do the 4th root on both sides. Now actually, I'm going to do it a slightly different way because it will be able to give me a more exact answer if I do it this way. So I'm going to put both sides to the power of a quarter. So x to the power of 4 to the power of a quarter is equal to 2/3 to the power of a quarter. And so what that will give me is x is equal to 2 to the 3 over 4, because again you multiply inside and outside of your brackets, your powers. But doing that, I will have potentially missed off one of the solutions, and that comes from understanding that if I do an even root, so 4th root is an even root, I'm going to have a positive or negative answer, because obviously if I was to do the negative and put it to the power of 4, then that would become positive anyway. So actually my final answer is plus or minus 2 to the power of 3 over 4. And if I was to pick up the calculator and work that out, that's going to be somewhere between 1 and 2. So let's just put that in the calculator, and we get 1.68 to 2 decimal places. So plus or minus 1.68 to 2 decimal places. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you had a go at this yourself, I hope you managed to get the right answer, and if not, you learned something there from the methods that I've shown and that I've used. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate all the likes and everybody that subscribes to the channel. If you like this video, then there should be plenty more videos just up here. Hopefully it's here. That's where it should be, the one that you want to watch next. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.